Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Maddie and today I will be building a Victorian inspired family home in Willow Creek. This is my first ever video and I'm very excited to share it with you, so I hope you enjoy. So my inspiration today is this beautiful Queen Anne style home built in 1881 that sits in the Garden District in Louisiana. I did of course find this through Pinterest, but as soon as I saw it I knew that I had to build this. It's just got so much character, it's got so much life, the details on there are absolutely gorgeous. I also know that Willow Creek was heavily inspired by New Orleans and Louisiana, so I wanted to build a home that really referenced the styles that we see around there. Similar to the other homes that are sort of in the base game in Willow Creek. Wanted this one to really blend in with those and fit in. But also, have some character and some really cool features that we see in these really beautiful Victorian style homes. So this home has quite a few features that are very distinctive to this style of architecture. Firstly, we have this beautiful asymmetrical facade and a cute little front porch that we come up to off the street. There's the really cool tower out the back, and then we've got a lot of embellishment and decoration around the eaves of the home, on the porches as well, on the fencing, and even around the windows is really common too. I think these houses are just they have such a grand feel, they just feel a little bit magical. There's just so much character and life in there. I feel like these sorts of houses are really fun to build because there's so much detail, you get to put so much love into it, you get to build the character and the story that comes with it as well. So as soon as I saw this house, I just went, I have to build that one. And how nice for something so beautiful to be my first ever video. So now you've seen what my inspiration was, let's get into the build. So this house is built only using base game items. Nothing in this is from any packs, and the biggest thing that I had in mind when building with this was I really wanted it to be realistically accessible. So I think it came in at around 65,000 simoleons, which is a bit more than you're gonna get, if you've just made your family. Although I think maybe if you have 3 Sims, you might get 60,000, so then you're nearly there. But anyway, I was thinking this house could be really great if your Sims are doing well in their jobs, maybe they've just started a family. It is 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms actually. Well, 2 bathrooms and a toilet. So yeah, it could be really great as a family home, or even, a group of roommates living in a really cool house. Could have some really cool parties here. I read the history of the original house. They used to have lots of big parties there, so that definitely is the sort of home that has a lot of stories in it. So definitely something a bit versatile, different sorts of people could live there. I did build it so that it sort of was decorated like a family home, but yeah, could definitely be for any other types of Sims or roommates that you have. So you can see I've added the tower out the back and I'm just doing the roofing for the front porch. Let me tell you, I cut out a lot of this footage, to be honest, because I had so much trouble actually getting this roof on. I wanted it to be 2 deep and then 1 wide on the side, and it just looked horrible because I couldn't get it to look even. So I did end up making it 1 all the way around, and then you can sort of fake a nice corner there. It would have been nice to have 2 deep because I think that would have matched the original house a bit more, but we have to make sacrifices. So I've put the roof on the front porch. Something that was really interesting to me about this build was the little sort of porch that I'm putting the fence on right now. Just on the side there, little hexagonal piece. I thought that was just a really cool touch, and not something I would think to add myself. So that's the really fun part about using a reference. You just see these features that you don't think to add, and then they actually just end up looking really cool. So I was really happy with the way that the outside turned out. I liked this green cladding. Big fan of the green cladding. I do love the cladding in general. It's very common in the homes like where I live. So I think there's something about it that's maybe a bit comforting. So what I'm doing now is I wanted to add some of that detailing on the eaves of the house. But I find that the ones that come with like when you're on the top floor near the roof, they're just too big. But instead there's like a second floor one that is a really nice size. I think it's quite modest. So what you can do is you can actually build flooring on the top floor and then the roof sits on top of that. And the game, then detects it as, oh, this is a second floor or a third floor. So you can actually use that between floors sort of eave decoration as opposed to the one that only goes on your top floor. That was a really cool tip that I picked up from watching a Simmery video. So yes, definitely a bit of a game changer in what I feel capable of building now. So just adding some columns and some more details to the front porch. I also built this little like double back porch. My thinking was that the main bedroom would have a little balcony come off of it. And then the bottom porch obviously leads into the backyard. I didn't really decorate the backyard that much. I was conscious of price of this home, so I sort of left the details out of it. And then again, if you have a family in there, they can fill it up with, like a play set, a slip and slide. You can fill it up with a garden. I think it's really nice to leave it a bit more up to the player and how they want the house to grow and how they want their family to live in it and grow with it. So now adding the windows to the front of the home, or well, all around it actually. I do like how the Inspiration house had red window trims, because the cladding is like a pale green, and I think that it just looks really nice to have that extra color in there. So I chose these windows that still have a white frame but have this dark brown, really red brown trim on the inside, and I think that just gives everything a little bit more color, makes it more interesting because there is actually a lot of white when we look at like all the fencing and the columns. So yeah, just make it a bit more fun. I also then added a little bump out on the back, again, just to make the shape a bit more interesting, and that area will end up becoming the kitchen. So it was nice to have a bit of extra space in the kitchen too when I was building in the cabinetry and things. So lastly, adding windows to the tower. I really love these vintage Vista windows. Anytime I do a build that has the middle height walls, I love to add it in there, but I do think it's just perfect for this tower. So the top floor of the tower isn't actually a room. I just added that to give it a bit more height so that it would sit above the house. With that asymmetrical front, it makes the house look just a bit more interesting. Gives it some curb appeal. So I finalized the outside, happy with everything, and moving on to the inside. I built this little hallway. I had no idea what the inside of the original house looked like. I know it had like 8 bedrooms, which I was not building, and there's no way that that would then be a realistically priced home. So I went for 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. So 2 main bathrooms, one of them is an ensuite for the master bedroom, and then just a toilet downstairs. I find you can never have too many bathrooms, especially in a house that may have up to 5 Sims in it. There's no such thing as too many bathrooms in that situation. So adding the flooring in, I actually used pretty much the same flooring for all of the downstairs area because realistically, in my mind, a house doesn't have different flooring for every room. You know, bathrooms, kitchens, entryways are going to be different, and then bedrooms as well. So I also wanted to sort of keep this sort of like realistic to what you would see in a normal, typical sort of house. So adding the carpet into the 4 bedrooms at the top, and then adding a nice little railing around the stairs because we don't want children falling down the stairs, of course. So completed the flooring, moving on to, you know, decorating the walls, putting some wallpaper in there. I don't tend to go too crazy with the wallpaper. I tend to choose really simple things because it can very quickly make a room look busy. Once you start putting things on the walls, you start putting lights in, you know, plants and other sort of decorative items. So I do like to keep the wallpapering nice and simple. And I mean, the base game is pretty limiting in what we have. So, you know, not only did I keep it simple because I like to, but also because I had to. I really struggle with bathrooms using base game items. I just feel like they look really sterile. I don't think I'd like a bathroom like that in my house if I was building it. So now I'm starting to furnish everything. This front room, I figured it could just be like a little sort of entryway room. In my mind, you know, you have guests over, this is where they come and sit. It's just a fireplace and a chest table. I put in a bookshelf as well. You know, some things to do. But ultimately, like this is sort of like a formal sort of sitting room, I guess. Added my favorite pot plant. Honestly, I put that in every single house. I could put it in every single room if that would look good. But yeah, so we got a little fireplace, added in a little table, and then this little tea set to make it sort of feel like, oh, we have a nice little tea service when our guests come around. The curtains in this room nearly killed me. Actually took me a really, really long time to do. I ended up going for these blinds that I've never really used before, but honestly, none of the curtains would fit across 2 whole windows. And it really just like did me in for quite a while, and then I gave up and I went, you know what, these blinds actually look really good. I've never really used them, but I think they might become something that I use more often. I was actually really happy with how they looked and how it turned out. So quick little decoration in the entryway. Again, conscious of price here, so I really didn't like go too far with the detail, with the clutter. I definitely would have liked to put more plants in, put more things on the walls, but the cost adds up so quickly that I sort of had to let those design elements go. But I am overall really happy with this build. I think it's a nice, realistic family home. I really like to build homes that have that more like lived in sort of feel. They have like a bit more realism to them, because you know this is a video game, so it can be pretty easy to move away from that sort of realistic, like homey feel to what we build. And I know that there are some people that build like really amazing, like crazy sorts of homes, and they're really cool as well. But yeah, I like to stick to like natural sort of normal homes that we see. That's my style that I really like. So this is just a little living room. We've got a little TV cabinet that TV could go on there. And again, these curtains, they did me in. I literally I would have really loved to have, you know, like nice long flowing curtains in here. But no, it didn't work out that way for this one, unfortunately. But it's okay because, you know, I found these blinds that I really like. And I guess next time we can use some nice flowy curtains and get that vibe that we're really going for. But I think these fit in this room. And yeah, they do look quite nice. So it's all fine. So just put some little decorations in the hallway and then moved into the dining room. I actually used modern windows in this dining room that do look a bit different to the windows I used around the rest of the house. In the pictures that I was referencing, there was an area on the side that was actually like a built-in porch. So I wanted to sort of replicate that like built-in feel, and I thought this is a really good spot for the dining room. So there is different windows in there, but I think overall it does look really nice with the whole style of the house. So even from the outside and on the inside, yeah, it gives that little like built-in nook feel. And I'm actually really happy with how the dining room turned out. Moving into the kitchen now. So I wanted this home to have a big kitchen because of course it's a family home. It's always good to have a big kitchen in a family home. But also thinking about sort of the home that we're basing it off of. They typically tend to have quite big kitchens because historically they were, you know, really important sort of working spaces. So they're usually quite a big area of the home. But I added an island and some clutter on top of the benches, but again, not a lot of clutter because it adds up. Added these cupboards in the back there just to use up that wall space without having to put too many items there. Those really long cupboards are really nice to sort of give a feel of like proper sort of like pantry cupboards. And then moved upstairs. So this is the ensuite bathroom for the master bedroom. You know, general sort of vibe in there, nothing too special really. Just basic stuff that the parents would need in their ensuite. And then moving on to the second bathroom, in my mind this would be like the kids' bathroom because the parents have their ensuite. It's not very colourful. Again, it's all pretty standard stuff that's in there. But I did put like a little yellow towel and a blue bath mat just to add some colour. But it's actually a pretty boring bathroom. Although if you like ever think about like the childhood bathroom that you had, it was probably pretty boring. So So adding the bed into the master bedroom, I really wanted it to be in that sort of like half of the tower, but it just didn't really fit like with the side tables. So I put it against the wall and then put some nice little chairs. I think I ended up just having one chair because, you know, moving things around, sort of realized only one chair is going to fit nicely in there. Again, debacle with the curtains. Let's not talk about it. Let's just put some shades in and move on. EA, I have questions as to why this left pulled curtain sits on the middle of the window and not to the left of it, but some questions go unanswered, especially questions around decisions that EA has made in this game. Yeah, so just one chair in the bedroom, because yeah, two was a little bit cramped and I was worried about the Sims not actually being able to walk past the bed into the bathroom. I didn't play test this, so I thought better to be safe than sorry. So just doing the kids' bedrooms. I don't usually do kids' bedrooms. I don't actually play the game too much. I really enjoy the building houses aspect of it and doing all of this interior design and everything. So I sort of did what I could, and it's pretty obvious that I didn't care because that bed totally clips the curtain and I didn't adjust it. But you know, pretty basic kids' bedrooms. They got some toys, they got beds. What else do children need? Yeah, truly not sure there. Just finished it off with some lights, and then I moved over and did this final bedroom. So this room's a bit of a weird shape, and I think, you know, in older houses you always end up with like weird shaped rooms. But I thought this could be a really great bedroom for like a teenager. I tried not to gender it too much, just keep it like fairly neutral, which then I guess is also a little bit boring. But yeah, you know, gave them a dresser, a bed. I put a desk in there so that they can do their homework in peace from their younger siblings. A cute little rug, a bookshelf. I also added some posters in there, and I did go through and add these onto the kids' walls as well. I don't really look at sort of the beginning of the painting section because usually I'm looking for like, oh, the fancy paintings that cost a lot of money to make a house look, you know, fancy and rich. So it was actually kind of fun to like find the posters and put them up on the walls, and you know, it really did feel like kids' bedrooms at that point too. So lastly, this is the landing. In my mind, this was sort of like almost like computer room. So like the family computer would be there, and then with the couch there, in my mind the kids would, you know, sit on the couch and take turns or fight over playing games on the computer, which I think is quite a cool memory for a lot of people. And I was thinking, you know, family home, definitely going to be sharing a computer. I also didn't add a computer for like, you know, cost reasons. So, you know, they'd have one computer and then the kids can all sit together and play together, or they can all fight over it. Lastly, I just added a chimney that aligns to where the fireplace is. I have a bit of a thing about that. I really like to align the chimney to where the fireplace is. And then I went out and furnished this balcony for the parents. So, you know, just a simple chair, a little pot plant. Probably could be a bit more decorated. But yeah, that was what I did. Added some lighting, and then I went in and started doing the landscaping. So added a path. I wanted to add some dirt around the edges to make it look a bit more realistic. Again, another tip I learned from a Simmery video, but I didn't actually like the way it looked, so I deleted it and instead, you know, just did the usual dirt around the edge of the house. And then I actually realized at this point I hadn't done anything with the foundation of the home, so fixed that up. And then I just added some trees out the front just to frame the property a little bit more. I wanted to add this bulbous bush, but I ended up hating the way that it looked, so I got rid of that. And I ended up adding these hedgerows out the front, just to frame things, just to add a bit of greenery. I didn't actually add anything in the backyard except a tree. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, you could put in like a dining set or a slippery slide or a swing set, anything like that. Added a little wrought iron fence and then like a proper sort of privacy fence, because, you know, this is on the edge of a pathway, so for the Sims to play in the backyard with a bit of privacy. And with that, everything is done. I really enjoyed building this home. I loved the reference photo that I found. I feel like like keeping things base game only and then within like a moderate price range, whilst also really pulling from the references in the images of the house that I found. I personally think I've done a pretty good job. I'm really happy with this build. It is up on the gallery. The details will be in the comments below. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I had a great time building this home and filming it. And yeah, stick around. I'll be uploading more things as I build them. And it was so great to have you here. Thank you.